Okay then guys, what is going on? Cloud Plays here and welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're inside of Evil West, and this game is one which has had me tickling my fancy since earlier on in the year. I've been keeping my eye on it and I've been really excited. Although the cooperative play was something that I was quite skeptical on, I decided to take this game for what it was and to go into it as the action solo play, and it definitely had me on edge. This game, although is absolutely cracking at first, does get extremely dull. Now we're going to go into the details of this one, and if this one is a bit more of a subjective video and is one where you guys may not agree with all of the points I have, although I feel like I have to push it out there, you guys can hit me up and down in the comment section below with your pointers and things that you thought about the game. And also, if you want to get involved in these conversations and kind of question some of the things that I say, then we can get a discussion going down there as well. But with that being said, if you haven't already, make sure you smash that beautiful blue thumbs up, subscribe, post notifications turned on, and let's jump on in to Evil West. So what do we say about this game? Evil West is your vampire slaying, western styled game, which is actually really good at face value, and although graphically it is absolutely awesome, this takes quite a lot of inspiration from games like God of War and Gears of War and the playstyle that it takes on this third person action aspect, and the combat style that sits behind it is quite relatively similar to God of War. And when I say that, I mean there's not a massive amount of combinations really that you need to do or use or even learn to actually be able to beat through this game. It's one which is really confusing for me, as I feel like the game has got more of a linear gameplay style rather than a bit more of an explorative style play. This is quite laid out for you, and the direction of which you have to take is, well, it's just go this way and do this, and you literally don't really have to stem much further than that. The storyline is okay, although not quite on par when we have played games like God of War and stuff like that, but the entertainment factor is definitely there, and if you guys quite love bashing in faces inside of the ghouls and vampire world, then you want to do that as a rocking cowboy with a rifle, some weird ass gauntlet, which is just absolutely crazy for the record, and a revolver on hand, then this is definitely the game style for you. My problem is it just doesn't meet its mark on how it was advertised. Although this game is exactly how it was advertised, for me this game is also pretty damn deceiving. I can't get over the linear playstyle. I don't really like being shoved down a funnel and told where I'm going and what I'm doing, and going from one area which is just like a giant round or square area to move forward into another round or square area. That's literally it. All your combating types are all the same. It's a circle room or a rectangular room, square room, whatever you want to call it, and then they spawn in a load of ads. You take those ads out and then you move through to the next area, and it's basically just a game where, with a bit of a storyline inside of it, you just go around bashing in head. Although this is not really much of a negative point for those of you guys who knew that that was how it was going to be like and kind of expected that, and you enjoy that play style, fair play to you, you're definitely going to enjoy this game. But for me, this was just missing a hell of a lot. It does give a bit more of the classic vibes, and for those of you guys who haven't seen Skillup's review, I do generally take a lot of Skillup's reviews and I do listen to everything that is said, because I actually really respect his review count and the way that he actually does it and handles it. Although with this one I just don't agree. He recommended this game quite nicely, and I just think that if you are not into that nostalgic style play style where you are just going through a linear style map, bashing in heads with your fist and shooting with a very jagged shooting style, I may add, is actually awful. Though if you've got PS5, you have got adaptive triggers, and that feels quite nice. But other than that, this game has just let me down on so many different levels. The repetitiveness does become a bit of a draining cycle, and the factorization behind this repetitiveness just genuinely does do your absolute nut in. So this is something that I feel like they do kind of need to alter, and I'm really hoping this game actually has a number 2 coming to it. And Evil West 2 would be really good, especially if they actually take into consideration some changes to the game. I think it'd be well entitled. This is a game which I was really excited for and was really disappointed in, just because it didn't really meet my expectations. And that's just taking it for what it is, as an action solo play style game. And the storyline was weak, the combat style is really weak. You can just button bash if you really want to, and if you don't want to, then you don't really have to learn any combinations, and it's all quite simplistic, and the fighting style is a lot like God of War in that sort. You are quite limited to what it is that you can actually do. Maybe have a few combinations, but other than that, pretty pretty standard. The boss fights are quite enjoyable, but again, everything's quite standard in that regard. There's generally 1 or 2 AoE movements, and you kind of get damaged a little bit by then. Everything really like glows because you can just constantly parry it, and then you've got the other attacks which are just close range abilities. Everything else is just all exactly the same throughout all of these bosses. And not only just that, but the actual ads that you're taking out on a general, the actual enemies that you are taking out, the vampires, the ghouls, they all look exactly the bloody same. Now obviously I don't want to ruin the storyline for you guys, for those of you guys who are going to play this game, and I don't want to ruin that sort of aspect, so you are only seeing really the first 20 minutes of this gameplay, and I don't really want to spoil anything for anyone, but this does not have the actual movement inside of this game that I thought it was going to. I'm a little bit disappointed, although I have played through 3/4 of it, and I am going to finish it, and then we're probably going to do a few streams on this game as well, just so you guys can see a little bit more of the live play style on it. But other than that, it's definitely really a no for me, and if I was to even rate this in stars, if I had to, out of 10, I probably would have given it a 5, although I don't actually do that sort of stuff. That's how weak this game genuinely played for me. If you like a nostalgic linear play style, which plays a bit like an old and styled PS2 game with PS5 graphics or a PC graphic, then spot on, this game's for you. If you're looking for something a little bit more innovative and a little bit more game-changing and a little bit more different to what it is that everybody else has really made over the last 5 to 12 years, well, this game is not for you. That's just my partake on it, and hopefully you guys do not crucify me in the comments, because I can already see it coming, but irrelevant to it. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe, post notifications turned on, appreciate your faces, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.